Hey guys, hope you all are doing well. Yeah, and Happy New Year as well. Today we are here to speak with Dr. Sheetal Nair about his new book, The Monk's Secret, which is now live on Amazon and Flipkart. Previous book, Midas Touch, was a self help short read that inspired the readers to achieve their dream and build good leadership qualities. Let me just add the author. Let's wait for the author to join in.
Hi,
Yeah, hi, sir.
hi. Good
Hi.
evening.
Yeah, and Happy New Year and congratulations on your new book.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you too.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, sir, I was just blown away by your previous book, The Midas Touch. Actually, I picked that book for the cover, the beautiful cover, and really your writing style was really brilliant. I loved it.
Thank you. The credit for the cover goes to Rishi and Tushti, the
Okay.
publisher. They put a lot of effort for the cover and they were able to place the cover in a very nice manner. But thanks, I'll say thanks for them also from their side too.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
thankful. Really nice to hear that.
yeah. And just introduce about yourself to our viewers, sir.
Okay. So, hi everyone who's joined into this Insta live session. I am Dr. Sheetal Nair. The doctor, as a prefix to my name, is because I've done my PhD in training and development from North Central University, Arizona. I am technically an author, a storyteller, a coach, someone who's heavily into training and development. I have had a few stints with the government of India when I've worked with the NSDC too. Uh, I have trained around more than 10,000 hours of T&D sessions across the country and abroad. I take pride in the fact that I was the youngest master trainer to be working with the government of India. All these things led me to write my first book on leadership. And thanks to Tushti, the publisher Flipping Pages, who were able to guide me into a right pocket and I was able to bring it across. And I keep on striving to do better. And the second effort, that is the monk story or the monk secret, is somewhat on the similar lines. Yeah, that's about me.
Yeah, that was brilliant. And yeah, you have achieved so much by now. And we have to learn from all your achievements, like an ideal person, ideal author, ideal person. Yeah, and moving on
You
to,
being
yeah,
really kind to me. Huh? You being very kind to me. Thanks a lot for that.
yeah. And moving on to next question, tell us about your new book, that is The Monk's Secret. Like, is it related to your previous book or completely different one?
So
Because
no.
the taglines, like the art, it was also having the art. So,
So yeah, I'll just give you a brief this thing. So this Monk's Secret is a part of the trilogy. There's the 99 pages trilogy. The first part was the
okay.
Midas Touch. The second is the Monk's Secret, and the third we are already working on. There is no technical interconnection between all these three books, except the fact that they are all the non-fiction genre, self-help. They are all meant to help people achieve something or the other in life. Similarly, the Midas Touch was a book which could have, helped you find out the leadership qualities inside you, try to develop it in a better manner. Similar to that, the Monk's Secret talks about four different topics: time management, how to ensure that you have a strong belief system, how to ensure that you believe in something which is spiritual, not necessarily. I'm not trying to tell people that you become spiritual, but the idea is to believe in something, a positive energy. How to get people to focus on you as an individual. See, in today's world, what is more important is not the fact that you have a lot of knowledge, not the fact that you are probably very technically highly skilled. What is more important is how you present that, how people perceive you. It is as simple as this. Today, if I carry an Apple iPhone along with me, I am using an iPhone, people will automatically perceive that this individual is either A, successful,
Yeah.
B, he has money to blow it away, because obviously an iPhone costs a lot of money, right? So it is again the imagery, the package that is there in an individual. So how you can inculcate something wherein you as an individual are put in a spotlight. That is another thing that we talk about in this book. And the other thing that we try to share with people is how to live in the present in this book. So a lot of times we do a lot of planning. Some people are stuck with the past. बहुत ज़्यादा ego issues होते हैं. There are people who have certain issues which are egotistical in nature. And how to get out of all these blocks. We all are suffering from mental blocks. Some people are unhappy because of the questions that people ask them. Some people feel that they are supposed to be at a pedestal in life. And when a younger person puts across a question which sort of is haranguing to me in nature, they suddenly feel agitated. So, how to get out of all these things is what we are focusing on in the second book, that is the Monk's Secret. It's a very short book, 99 pages only, similar to my first book. A very thin book. You can just probably finish it in a flipping day, not even a day, probably a couple of few hours. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
The difference, the biggest difference between the Midas Touch and the Monk's Secret is Midas Touch was very theoretical. I loved the book, but yes, there was a lot of theory in Midas Touch. While in the Monk's
Yeah.
Secret, you will find a lot of me, my personal experiences, my dealings with a lot of corporates across the world, my peers, my mentors, my teachers, they have taught me a lot. Live cases wherein I have been doing consulting with XYZ company and how they have changed. So all these things are mentioned in the book, anonymously, obviously. But the idea is, if you read The Monk's Secret, you will find it is pretty much relatable because I'm giving you examples from my own personal life, and you will find a piece of me in this book. That's Monk's Secret.
Yeah, that was nice. And soon after this interview, I'll just go and place an order. Just waiting for your second book, actually. And now that my new year starts with your book itself, because I love reading self-help books,
Wow, thanks a
because
lot.
they are quite different from the other books. We get to learn a lot from self-help, be it anyone. But the thing I noticed in your previous book was it was a way different from others, not like the same self-help kind. Like it was unique actually, not with boring theories and all.
It was
Yeah,
slightly
like
boring, let's be very honest,
no, no,
but
no, not like that. There are few self-help books where the same thing will be repeated.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't want to mention the names, but the same things will be repeated. You can just compare like two self-help books, same elements will be discussed and all, but this one was really different. I didn't feel it boring, and it
So
was short also, like the 99 pages.
So actually, I'll tell you what. The first book, The Midas Touch, that I was writing across, and why I wrote it and how it worked out. So I also read a lot of self help, and trust me, I am a pretty much
Yeah.
self made man because I was able to read these books and I've incorporated it into my day to day life. Now the thing here is that when you read all these things and when you make a change, you realize that you're reading a lot of authors and they're really nice ones. So I've told this n times, a number of times that I love Robin Sharma, but a lot of times his books
Yeah,
get
yeah,
a bit dull. They're
yeah.
very heavy. Like the last one which I read was the 5 a.m. Club, and
5 a.m. club.
yeah. So it's nice, but after a point, it is too heavy for me to
Yeah,
grasp it. And I, trust me, do a lot of research. So for me, if it is too hard to grasp, I'm sure there are so many people who are facing the similar sort of issues. So the reason why I went to the 99 pages genre was so that I could reach out to younger audience, because they do not want to probably spend so much time in reading a very heavy
yeah.
book, a
True.
250 page or 300 page. People might not even pick it up in their hand to that place. So yeah, that is one of the major reasons why I picked 99 pages.
Yeah, even like it attracts beginners as well. Like, okay, the book is small. We'll just try to start with this book, they feel. And the books with bigger volume and all, quite sometimes they feel bored. Not only they, even the regular readers also feel it bored.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Then, yeah, sir, then is there any reason behind the title, like the monk and the self-help? Is there any relation? Because like for example the monk who sold his Ferrari, even that was a self-help, and this is also self-help and the title holds monk. So can you justify that?
So there are two reasons. I'll share you both. The first reason is this book is actually, I give a very simple declaration when I begin the book. This book is technically not extraordinarily original. There are a lot of concepts which have been spoken about, right from time management to personality development to communication to all these things have been spoken by n number of people n number of times. So this is technically a simulation of all what I have read and all what I've learned. And I feel all my teachers, all those people who have taught me or directly, indirectly, like Eklavya, right? Eklavya never met Dronacharya, but he just saw him from a distance, got all the skill sets. So for me, I am an Eklavya to all these Dronacharyas. So I feel that their secret, I am trying to share it with you. I have had amazing mentors, Dr. Nilanjan Kaur, Dr. Sushil Bhandari. There's so many people across the globe who have taught me a lot. These are people who directly interacted with me. Mr. Philip Kotler, Mr. T.V. Rao, all these people have indirectly contributed. Robin Sharma, let me take so many people have indirectly contributed to me. So I feel that they are all monks. They have achieved certain stature in their life and they know their stuff, or as we call it in the common slang, they know their shit, right? So they know what
Yes.
they are trying to say. I mean, that's better to listen to them. So they are the ones who inspired me. Hence, I have used the title monk. And obviously, I'm trying to share their secret recipe to you in the best and the easiest format possible. Hence, the monk secret. That is reason number one. Reason number two is the idea is whenever someone talks about a self-help book, the first book that someone thinks about is the monk who sold his Ferrari. I mean, self-help is
Yeah, yeah.
equated to the monk who sold his Ferrari. And so we, that is the publisher and me, we thought that it can be a good marketing thing, wherein if we tag a title which is very similar to the monk who sold his Ferrari, the recall value of the book will get on a
Yeah,
higher side. Merely to ensure that the recall value is better, we went with the title too. So there are two reasons, and these are both.
yeah, like the second the reason was nice actually. And sir, yeah, what is your views about self-help book? And to people who think like self-help book are of same kind, and your views on that?
So I'll tell you, self-help book majority are of the same kind. There's nothing extraordinarily different. So when I pick up a self-help book, I always try to find who's written the book. So if I take a self-help book, I'll give you an example. So this is very interesting book by Mehrab Irani, Mad Money Journey. I think I've spoken about this in earlier interviews also. So if when I someone told me about financial management, they said, "Ki, why don't you go and check out a financial management book?" So I was like, okay, let's do that. So before I did that, I always do this. I go and check the author. I check who Mehrab Irani was. Mehrab Irani manages funds for Tata Capital. Mehrab Irani was a fund manager for so many big companies, on the board of directors for so many companies. So when the knowledge on financial management is coming from someone who's financially very successful, it has to be of something worthwhile. Like Warren Buffett writes a book, obviously it is going to be worthwhile because that guy is damn successful, right? So when you pick up a self-help book, you should always check who the author is. Is he or she successful? And if he or she is successful, is the success similar to what you want to achieve? The success is different for you. Success is different for me. My success will not be similar to yours, right? I may be successful, I may be in a position, but you may not want to do that. So people always should pick up books which they like and the author they should relate to. That is why I keep on saying this, I've said this a number of times. I love Robin Sharma because I love the way he writes. I love the position that he is in, and I see myself that in the future I would like to be someone like him. So I love his books. That is one of very, very good writers I love. Stephen Covey Jr., not the senior one. He wrote a book, The Speed of Trust. It is an amazing book. In corporate culture, the biggest thing that he says that we all lack is trust. We don't trust each other. And he's written the entire book on trust. Now imagine this, one entire 300 plus page book written on trust. The concepts are repeated. Let me tell you, you will find a lot of concepts repeated in the book. But the author has been very smart. He's put himself in the book. Similar to what I said. Now, I wrote about me in the book. He's put about himself in the book. So the reason why we should all think about the author when we read a self-help book is merely this, that you should be able to relate to the author. Baki concepts are similar, always similar. You pick up a religious book, all religious books talk about the same thing. You pick up the Gita, you pick up Quran, you pick up Bible. They all are talking about doing good to the society and doing good to about yourself. But again, what differentiates them is the practices that they do. So yeah, a long answer.
Yeah, and your favorite self-help book? It may
My
be like your
favorite.
recent read or the one you liked it the most,
So
apart from your book.
no. I completely agree. For an author, probably his book may be good, but Monk's Secret, technically, right now, I feel that it is an amazing book. I love it. Literal sense, I love it. So when I wrote Midas Touch, when the same question was asked, I had shared few names that this is good, this is good. But right now, let me very clearly stick to the Monk's Secret. It is amazing. I never imagined that this book will turn out this way. I was so bloody confident about this book when I read it. So when I wrote it, it was okay. But when the paper setting and everything happened, when the publisher sent it back to me, I reread it. And
So I guess,
sorry,
yeah,
I'm audible. I'm audible.
yes, sir. Now it is audible.
Yeah. But other than that, if you ask me at the back of my hand, what is a very, very good self-help book that I would like to read, then I would always say Mad Money Journey. It is about financial health, but it is amazing the way it is written. It is written in a very fictional manner. So I feel that if an author can explain something to you which is very technical in nature via stories, like your grandmother used to do. Your grandmother used to tell you stories. Your mother used to tell you stories, and they used to tell
Yeah,
you
yeah.
about morals, right? They used to only use stories. He's done that in the book. If you have not read it, read it. To all the listeners, read Mad Money Journey by Mehrab Iran. You will love it. I assure you that. So that is my the favorites. One of my favorite.
Okay. And thank you for suggesting that book. Soon after you complete your book, I'll just pick that up as well. And then talking about Monk's Secret, is it advisable for a beginner to read? Like, can they pick that book first? A beginner, total beginner.
Yes, they can. They can. So I'm being very honest. So the Midas touch, as I was sharing in this interview earlier too, was very technical and very theoretical. Certain language parts of Midas touch were a bit heavy. Now with Monk Secret, what I've done is I've realized my follies. So I have ensured that I do not do any heavy duty work. It is amazing. You're a first time reader. You have never read a non-fiction. You have never read a self-help book. Pick it up. You will grasp four concepts in 99 pages. Nothing
The four
far.
pillars.
It is so easy. Four concepts, 99 pages. That means that one concept you can read in 24 pages. It is so easy. And the best part about this book is that there is no age issue. You are 14-year-old, you're 41-year-old, you're 60 plus. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter. Sex doesn't matter. Your demographics don't matter. You can be across the world anywhere and you will relate to my examples. You would relate to the theories which are being propounded in this book.
Okay. And can you just like give a brief about the four pillars that is mentioned in the book?
Yeah, why not?
Like
We
the
all,
importance, and is it the main thing in the book, like that?
yeah. So the four pillars is the foundation on which the book stands. It talks about four different concepts, which I have very categorically named as uno, dos, tres, and cuatro. Spanish 1, 2, 3, and 4. The reason why I use Spanish is just to make it sound good. That's it. There's no technical reason to that. So you don't need to think about why I have named uno, dos, cuatro, and tres. The concept here is very simple. I start off with time management. So initially, the book was titled "How to Manufacture Time." When I wrote the Midas Touch and I was sharing interviews and the book was out, I had already started writing the second book, and the book was titled "How to Manufacture Time." It was later on that I incorporated three other concepts. So time management. We all have 24 hours, but we all use this 24 hours in different ways. Some people are able to extract maximum out of this 24 hours and they become successful. Some people are unable to do that and they remain unsuccessful or sad or depressed in life. So, how to ensure that you take the maximum out of these 24 hours is what I've spoken about in the first pillar, that is how to manufacture time. Right? The second pillar talks about belief system in the sense that you need to believe in something to survive. You cannot be saying that I am okay, I can do this, and I will react in this way, I will behave in this way, and things will happen for me. It doesn't happen. I'm not saying believe in God. I'm not asking you to believe in prayers. I'm not asking you to believe in anything, but you need to believe in the power that there is something in life which you need to talk about and think about. So that is what the second pillar. It talks about belief, and this belief is in not external things. It belief is belief in you and your own self. Third pillar is how to ensure that the spotlight is on. A lot of people have skill sets which are amazing. A lot of people are very nice about things that they do, but not many people get recognized. The recognition factor, the factor that you don't get recognized, is something which sort of hinders people, makes people sad. That I am so good, yet my neighbor is doing better than me. Why? Because you are unable to ensure that people are able to focus on your specific skill sets. It's as simple as that. A domestic cricketer, a player who's playing in the Ranji trophies, suddenly gets a spotlight because he or she is playing in the IPL, right? IPL is there, it is basically foundation. So, how can you achieve a foundation where you can showcase the world your skills? So, that is the third pillar. How to ensure that the spotlight is on you. And the fourth and the most important thing which I feel is how to ensure that you live in the present. We all have a lot of planning. People, the moment you get your first job, a lot of times parents say you should invest in LIC, think about your future, get a mediclaim, get insurance. The future needs to be taken care of. And this is something which is ingrained in ourselves from childhood. So from childhood, you think that when I'm in school, I'm supposed to graduate. When I'm graduating, I'm supposed to ensure that what will I do for post graduation? When I do post graduation, I'm supposed to think what sort of job will I get? The moment I get a job, what sort of spouse will I get? What sort of family will I have? Will I be able to give 2 vacations a year to my family? Will I be able to ensure my children get good education? All this is futuristic. In thinking so much about the future, we forget that we are alive right now. The present goes away. The present is altogether vanished. And we forget how to live. And that is one of the major reasons why majorly people are sad. This fourth pillar talks about how you can live in the present and not ensure that your future gets damaged, and how to not brood about your past. We all make mistakes, I have made n number of mistakes in my life, but how not to think about that? Just think about the positives. So these are the four pillars that this book talks about. Very simple language with examples of my own life.
Okay. And I guess the four pillars, I mean, you said you used it in Spanish, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And it really attracts the readers. Like they may think it, okay, there's something different. We need to read this. It attracts the readers also. Like while I was going through the blurb, I was like, what are these? Okay, let me ask this question in the interview, I thought. And so, yeah, I mean, your views on 2020, and did the incidents around you inspire you to write this book or your previous book? Like, was it planned earlier itself, or it was planned in the 2020 year?
So, honestly, I've been planning to write a book since ages, and I've been writing a lot of books. I've been writing a lot of fiction books. I'm technically a fiction writer, but the problem
Yeah,
with
yeah,
me and fiction is that I've never been able to finish a fiction book. I always get bored in the middle, and that always dissuaded me in finishing anything. Now, I started off with the book Midas Touch in 2020 because I felt that these concepts which are there in the market, self-help book propagates or they try to teach a lot of things, and they get a very strong feeling that when you read a self-help book, 2 to 3 days the effect remains, and uske baad it just vanishes. It's not
yeah,
there,
yeah. True.
right? You do not know what's happening, and since this happens, what exactly goes wrong with all of us is we do not know what concepts to stick on to. How will we ensure that we are able to take this concept along with us for a longer period of time? And that is when 2020 hit me. So COVID-19, right? COVID-19, we spent a lot of time
Yeah.
in our houses. We did not know what to do, and we were stuck, and we were very much worried as to how life is gonna be. And that is when these concepts started coming to me. I thought I need to ensure that what I think about these things go or reach across to people. I did not know if I'll be accepted. I did not know if my first book will become a bestseller. It did become a bestseller. And trust me, the first book success has helped me a lot in writing the second book. Why? See, we all have thoughts in our head, but we do not know how the other person perceives. What if I say something and the other person thinks something altogether different and he or she judges me? That scares you. And that is one of the major reasons we do not share our opinions, right? Now, when the first book became very successful, I realized that, okay, my voice can be heard. People might actually like what I say. And that was the stepping stone for me that I was able to write this second book in a much better, confident manner. You read the second book, you would realize that this is coming across from a very seasoned and confident author. I mean, you would not even realize this is my second book. You might end up thinking this is my 14th or 15th book.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to boast about the book, but I'm so happy with this product that, I mean, trust me, reading this book uh, after I wrote it made me rethink my own strategy. So I was a very obese kid. I was 121 kilos, and I started losing weight like 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
I started working on my body, and the 5 a.m. club helped me a lot because I too am a 5 a.m. club follower. I get up at 4:45 in the morning. I start working out by 5 in the morning. I have a schedule, right? When I wrote the how to manufacture part in this book, how to manufacture time part in this book, I realized that a lot of times these concepts I also have skipped. I have not incorporated everything on a day-to-day basis. So when I read it, I was reminded of all these things and I restarted working on them. And that impact that this book had was much, much better than probably even the 5 a.m. Club did. It changed me a lot. So yes, 2020 has impacted this book a lot. What I have learned in 2020, what I've learned in 2020 is that people are very fragile. We all are very scared. We do not know what's going to happen, and even the most
Yeah.
successful person around you is shit scared about his or her future. And 2020 showcases that we are all humans and we do not know what's going to happen to us. And we should
Yeah.
always be nice to each other. Don't hate anyone. If you do not like certain things about someone else, it's okay. If you want, you can tell the same thing to the other person in a very nice way rather than hurting someone. Because you never know. If you say something to someone else, either you're not there or he or she is not there tomorrow, you're always going to repent it. So why be sad? Be nice to everyone. Even your worst enemy, be the best possible person to them. That's what 2020 has taught me. And I really feel I appreciate life much better now because of 2020. So it's not been a bad year for me. It's been an amazing year.
Yeah, like, yeah, for even for others, 2020 shown what life is, and many got to learn many things staying at home and experiencing this pandemic situation. And yeah, so moving on, from your previous interviews, I just got to know that you love reading fiction. I mean, you're a fiction type of person. Yeah, can you tell us, like, yeah, your favorite fiction book or your favorite fiction writer?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm a very old sort of a
Yeah.
person, a very traditional reader that way.
Okay,
I
old
love
school
class.
type.
Yeah, I'm very old school romantic types of a reader. Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens is my favorite writer. He's always been. I love his Tale of Two Cities. Even today, if I read it, there will always be tears in my eyes. Even though I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen in the book, and I don't think there is any other romantic novel which can. It's not a romantic novel. To Tale of Two Cities is
Okay.
technically not romantic, but I read it and I can feel it. So I love that book. And Charles Dickens is hands down my favorite author. Is David Copperfield again, the triangle, the
Okay.
love triangle between Agnes and Dora.
Yeah.
Dora is first wife and Agnes is second wife. I love that. I don't know how that guy 200 years ago wrote a book which moves someone today after 200 years. I dream that I too will be able to one day write a book which will be able to move someone after 100 years, probably after I am not alive. That is amazing. I do not know. Have you read David Copperfield and Tale of Two Cities? If you have not read it, please
Tale of
do read
Two
it.
Cities I have read.
You have, right? You know
Yeah.
this character Sidney Potter, right? The lawyer who dies, who sacrifices himself for her love. What better love story than that? I mean, that is great, unrequited love, and that's it. And that's amazing.
And do you have any plans for the next book to be written in fiction or any next fiction novel?
No, no, I will first finish the trilogy, but 2021 end,
Okay.
I will bring out my fiction book. It's a very dark book. I have been able to
Okay.
somehow reach a certain space in that book. It's a dark erotica, very contrary to how I am or what sort of an individual I am. But it's a mix of Dexter, the series, and
Mhm.
50 Shades of Grey. I mean, yeah, it's a very weird combination.
Okay.
It's a very weird combination. Something which I'm
And we
not
are
at
waiting
all.
for it actually.
Yeah. So I am too waiting for somehow to able to have the energy to finish it because it's so dark. Sometimes when I write, I go into a very dark space.
And yeah, sir, like from at what age you started reading or getting into writing?
So I have been an avid voracious reader since childhood. I used to spend a lot of time in my library. I was not that much into sports. Being an obese kid
Okay.
always has the disadvantages. So I used to find myself in the library a very much at a very young age, and I used to write a lot. So I have written for Times of India when I was in school. Obviously, the normal, the small kids used to have
Yeah.
this We Wonder thing, which used to come with the Times of India thing. So I used to write for that. They had small columns when kids could contribute poems and short stories and stuff like that. I've written for that. I've been lucky enough to be featured in Champak. Again, Champak is a very small magazine. I
That's
don't know
nice.
if you remember it. So yeah, I have
Yeah,
written
I
that.
know, I know.
I have been a part of those things, and I love writing fiction. I am not no, but I have not been able to finish a book. So that's the only bottleneck.
Yeah, like, but the self-help came.
Yes, it did. It did. Probably it's a self-help came so that I'll be finally able to finish a book.
Yeah, nice. Like, who inspired you, sir, to getting into writing or like being an avid reader? Like, who
So
inspired
many
you?
people.
Like your family members or your friends?
So many people, not my family members, not my friends, but when I read a book, and I am, as I told you, my Charles Dickens example I was sharing with you, he was able to move me. I read David Copperfield when I was in fifth standard, so you can imagine I was roughly 11-year-old, 10 to 11 years old when I read
Okay.
David Copperfield. And the boy's story moved me so much. And when I read about Charles Dickens, I realized that guy is no more. He is so old. This was written in Old English, and I was reading an abridged version. So then I went ahead. 11-year-old went ahead and got the unabridged version of David Copperfield. It's bigger, right? It's bigger and it has got Old English. It's very tough to decipher. So I went ahead. I read that and was inspired by the fact that his words could move me. I appreciated the life that my parents were giving me. David Copperfield did not have parents, so he was sent across to his
Mm.
aunt's place. Then he lived in a very different place. He didn't have money. He struggled. So I suddenly had an appreciation for the life that my parents gave, and that made me realize that if a guy, a century plus old guy, a guy who wrote a book a long time ago, can move something with his words, so a person like that is much more impactful than your political leaders, than your actors, than your businessmen, than anything else. So that is the day when I decided that I will at least start writing. So that inspired me. And that is why I keep on saying Charles Dickens is my favorite author. Charles Dickens is my inspiration to start writing. And I started writing post that. And that's it. It moved me. I've always been writing. I have been writing poems. I've had blogs. I've had phases wherein I have attended those open mic thingies where you go and start saying shairi just to see how people react. I have
Right.
just wanted to share my opinion to others. And lucky I am that today I have been published in the Economic Times, I've been published in the Times of India, the Midday carries me, the Week carries me, Outlook carries me. So I'm happy that way I've been able to reach that phase. But I will always attribute that it all started with me reading David Copperfield. And hence, parents today need to inculcate the habit of reading in their children because it will change your
Yeah, that
child's
is
life
true.
for sure.
Mm. Yeah, like few people tell, no, my kid or my child doesn't read because they feel it boring. Your words for them?
My words for them. I mean, the times are changing. I myself, I'm a father of a young kid. There are a lot of gadgets that these kids have. They have
Yeah,
iPads, they
yeah,
have televisions, OTT is there. A lot of things are there. We should be worried and we should be happy at both these things. Worried
yeah.
because if tomorrow these gadgets overtake their life, they will lose emotions. Now, as a
Mm.
parent, what you need
True,
to do
true.
is you need to spend time with the kid. If the kid doesn't have a habit of reading, read it to the kid. I have this thing. I read to my kid. My wife reads to my kid. So, and I also spend time reading a book in front of my child. So I don't put my phone in front of me, start watching Netflix in front of my child. In front of my child, I read a book because children are very much impactful. They look at you and they get
Mm.
impacted,
Yeah,
and they feel that what their parents are doing is something that they should do. So if you read a book, your child will read a book. Anything. It can be anything. It can be a very magazine. It's fine. But let's get them in that habit of reading. I also do PFA, that is psychological first aid, and you will realize that a lot of times children get attracted to flashy imagery, and OTT
yeah.
channels have content which is not curated for your child. Remember that.
Child.
It is good content. I am not trying to oppose that. I am not a right wing fundamentalist saying that the content should not be there. But it is not curated for your child. So you curate it. Share books with them which you know will help them think where this knowledge needs to be placed. So do that. If you do not do that, then you're actually letting your kid, fight his own battle. Then tomorrow, later on in the future, you will actually need help. And this is something which I'm being very honest about. Do not get your kid books. If you do not get your child to read, you will end up paying more money to a counselor to get him counseling or her counseling, and those things are gonna happen. So get into the habit.
Yeah. And yeah, everyone should inculcate the habit of reading, be it any book, bigger one or the smaller one. I prefer mostly like paperbacks are the best than these Kindles because they don't give us that feel of reading a physical book.
The smell
And
doesn't come.
you're,
You have the fresh.
yeah, that is true.
It is
And we also can't feel that, right? Like the turning pages and all markings and all that thing, we can't do it in Kindle. But that doesn't give the real feel actually.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. It feels
Yeah.
very alien. I also own a
Yeah.
Kindle, but then I have not read a book, finished a book in Kindle because it feels weird. It feels very alien. I love that smell when you open a book.
Yeah, even
When you
me,
have a fresh
the
page,
new
the
book.
smell. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm probably addicted to that. So I ensure that I have a huge library. I have around 450 plus books, fiction, non-fiction,
that's nice.
everything with me,
Yeah,
and I maintain that. And from childhood, I have been having books. I have collected them. So yeah, and
nice.
that is one of the best gifts which I like to give people. Even people who don't like reading, I give them books. It's okay. They will
Nice.
hate me, it's fine.
Someday in the life they'll read it.
They will read, and they'll remember
Yeah.
me that this guy gifted him a book.
Yeah. Maybe that will be their first stepping stone in reading the books. From
Yep,
that they
yep.
may start. Yeah,
Yes.
that is nice actually. And sir, your final words to our viewers and also for those young writers who are planning to publish their books or planning to write, your final words for them.
For people who are planning to write,
Yeah,
maintain a notebook. Ensure that you write your thoughts
because
down.
like few will be like with constrained mindset, like they may think, okay, the thing which I write may not attract readers and all. That will be pulling them apart. So your tips for them.
See, actually, I'll tell you what, the best part about your generation and the best part about today's present scenario is that you have social media. Now, what
Yes,
social media does is it gives you a platform to share your thoughts across to a wide audience. They may like it, they may not like it, but they will give you instant feedback.
true.
Earlier, you did not have this. You had to write to
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
weeklies,
true.
you had to write to magazines, papers, think or pray that they will select your content, publish it, let people read it. But today,
Mm.
social media gives you an opinion where whatever you write, people read. Even if you have 10 readers, those 10 readers will give you genuine feedback, right? So today, I'll always tell the fresh writer that start writing anyway, but you should maintain a log. Whatever comes in your mind, start writing it down, start sharing it with people, take their feedback, curate yourself in a way that you feel your opinions will actually reach to a wider audience. Now, there are two things that will happen. A, you will be accepted. B, you will not be accepted. Let's say you are accepted. Good. So you'll become a successful author. You will start publishing books. Good for you. But let's say you are not accepted. Let's say your writings are not accepted. People don't understand it and people feel this is weird. Okay, it's fine. Your generation doesn't understand you, but that doesn't mean that you stop writing. I mean, if you follow me on social media, a few months ago, I wrote a long piece on right-wing fundamentalism. And a lot of time, I got a lot of brickbats. People said that you are saffronizing yourself, you are very right wing
Okay.
ideology. Why should I be sad about that? So I am not a fundamentalist, but that doesn't mean that I cannot share my opinion. The constitution gives me a right to share my opinion. I may be liked, I may not be liked. It doesn't matter. Similarly, when you're an author, you have your own opinion. People may like you, people may not like you, but that doesn't mean that you stop expressing it. Express it. And trust me, you will find the faithful batch of readers. The second book, when we came out with it, the publisher and me, we both were not sure as to how many pre-orders we'll get. Right now, we have paperbacks, right? And we put the books
Yeah.
on paper, like pre-ordering, and we finished the 10K slot within few minutes. The next slot 50 we had to pick up. We finished in minutes. On the first day itself, we scored 70 plus book sale. So that was something that made me realize that my book, the first book, actually had an impact and I am a successful author. It became a bestseller, but I did not realize that that would translate into paperback sales. So today, I know I'm very confident that my book's gonna do really well. But let's say that response was not there. Would I not have written my third book? I would have still written it because I do not care. What I want is I want to share my opinion to the world and I will continue doing that. So all the new authors, three things. One, keep on writing, maintain a logbook, write your thoughts down. Number two, share your thoughts with people, curate it so that people give you good feedback. And number three, if they do not accept you, it's okay. Keep on writing. Either ways, keep on writing. Because down the line, you will find someone who likes you. Van Gogh, the painter, was not appreciated in his own lifetime. But today his painting
Yeah.
sells for crores. Okay. So keep doing what you want to do. Be creative.
Yeah, this was nice, and all your advice will help many young writers to start writing or publish their new books. It was nice talking with you, sir. I got to learn so many things in this live session. I hope even our viewers also got to learn many things. And if all the viewers wish to buy the book, I'll just share the link. Yeah, and how was your feelings of sharing your experiences
Thank you.
and talking
It
about the
was
book?
it was a wonderful session. I love talking to you, and I am very happy
Thank
that I
you.
was able to share my feelings about the book, about life per se with you, and it felt very nice. And
Thank
thanks a lot. I would like to keep on talking to you in the future too, and do connect with me.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Hope we catch up in your next book as well.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. Thank you.
So it was nice talking to you, sir.
Same here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so by this we end the session. Thank you, everyone. Bye.